911, do you need police, fire, medical?
Maybe both. I'm not sure. There's just someone screaming outside.
Okay, what's the address that they're near? Okay, and is it a male or female?
It sounds like a male.
And you don't know why?
I don't know why. I think they're yelling help, but I don't know. Just send someone quick. Say stop.
Okay. Does he look hurt to you?
I can't see him. I don't want to go out there. I don't know what's going on. So they're sending.
So you think he's yelling help?
Yes.
All right, what is your phone number?
Just, there's gunshots.
You just heard gunshots?
Yes.
How many?
There's one. Jeremy, get down. No, come here.
Welcome back to Variety with John and Anna. If you are just joining us, today we have Hot Topics, and Anna's here with me, and our co-host Arlene DeAngelus. And Anna just took a bathroom break, so how did that go? Did that work out okay?
I didn't even take a bathroom break.
Oh, you didn't? Oh, that's what they told me.
That was cute, Johnny.
That's what the producers told me. So. Okay, going into something a bit more serious, a lot more serious. We're going to talk about the Trayvon Martin case. Excuse me. So we're going to talk about... You're laughing at me over there. Okay, we're going to talk about what we think and what's going on in the case, what we've heard, and how we feel about it. So this is something very serious, and I did not know about this case until you brought it up to me, Anna. I didn't know anything about it until 2 days ago when Anna asked if we can do this segment. And I started doing research, and I was shocked. I was very shocked. So what is your take on overall on this case?
Well, I must say that I'm very thankful to know that George Zimmerman will be arrested and charged in the fatal shooting of Trayvon Martin. The special prosecutor in this case, Angela Corey, she plans to file charges in a news conference on Friday. It's very saddening, very saddening.
That is good news, but you know what's sad about it is that it took all that, all that media coverage and all the pressure that everyone had to put on her to make that decision. Don't you think that they should have done that from the get-go?
Yeah, like why should all this pressure be applied for someone to see what's unjust?
Yeah, and if he does have a good explanation, then why not take it to a jury then, right?
Any crime should be given a trial.
Yeah.
And I know the whole thing is you're innocent until you're proven guilty, but there were so many things that were not in his favor. The least they could have done was arrested him and detained him, not let him walk free. But it doesn't matter because as I know, and I made up this quote, justice may not always come on time, but when it comes, I forget the rest. But justice doesn't always come on time. That's my point.
Right.
So
we get the gist of it.
Sometimes you have to wait for it.
Yeah. And
I'm just thankful that something will be done about this. And I'm really, I hate to say the word excited, but I am excited and very curious to hear Trayvon Martin's girlfriend's witness testimony in this case. Because I feel like she's key. You know what I mean? She's key in this case because she was the third party who wasn't there, but she heard.
She was on the phone.
Yeah, she was on the phone with him.
Okay, so we'll talk a little bit more about that, but let's get Arlene's overall view on the case. And your husband is a lawyer, by the way.
My husband is a criminal attorney.
Yes, the famous Ron DeAngelus.
So one thing that I feel with this that I'm a stickler for competency, and I think this whole thing was mishandled right from the beginning. It doesn't matter whose child it was. It could have been one of our children or our sons or our brother or our sister, and it was handled wrong right from the beginning, covered up and everything else, and I'm very, very much against that. So I'm very happy at the results. I think it should have been done 45 days ago or whenever this occurred.
Definitely. Now, do you think he knew somebody at the police station? He knew one of the cops or something?
Well, what bothers me is that who would anoint someone to be a neighborhood watch person when they've Like, he's gotten in trouble with the law before, assaulting a police officer. And if I'm not mistaken, he had other assaulting, I think it was domestic charges brought up against him. Like why, like, who would decide to give this person a job to watch our neighborhood, to keep our streets safe when you have a history of assault? I mean, and who gives somebody a gun to watch a neighborhood?
Well,
that makes no sense.
Apparently he had a license to have the gun.
A
is what I'm
license
hearing.
to have the gun for
Right.
himself, or a license to have the gun while on patrol?
Well, I don't know if he was officially hired to do anything. He was just a neighborhood watch guy, wasn't he?
Right.
So I'm not sure there would be like a specific time for him to have the gun. But I do believe he did have a license to have the gun.
Well, I mean, I don't know the whole logistics of how the laws of...
But regardless of anything, I mean, the kid he shot was 17 years old. He didn't have any weapons on him.
Right.
He had an iced tea and some Skittles in his pocket. He
Right.
just went to the store, and he looked suspicious because he was walking with a hoodie on, is what I'm hearing. So.
Yeah, and the guy, Zimmerman, he was saying, something wrong with this guy. It's raining, and he's just walking around. Well, that's why he had the hood on, because it was raining. But yet, him having a hood on is so suspicious, right? I don't know. And it's like, if you live in that community, then wouldn't you have seen him around before? I mean, honestly, who knows what happened? No one knows what happened for sure. But I'm thinking maybe,
and we might never really know.
Maybe Zimmerman got, like, in a fight with somebody and got beat up. Maybe that's how he got the whole broken nose. Who knows? Because, I mean, he comes up with all these crazy stories as to how it happened, so who knows?
Maybe they did get in a physical confrontation, but that doesn't mean you kill somebody.
But maybe he was beaten up before he even saw Trayvon and was like, oh, I'm going to take it out on somebody now. You know what I mean? And then approached him. You never know what happened.
Well, of course. I mean, you can assume anything.
Right.
But even if the worst case scenario is what I'm saying. Even if he did get in a physical altercation with someone who was underage,
right.
who was 17 years old, I still don't think that justifies shooting him.
No.
And killing him.
Especially when you're stalking him. Like, you're making him feel unsafe.
She wants to jump in.
Actually, when he got to the police station, he was not bleeding. He had no marks on his head or anything else, Zimmerman. So something happened after he got to the police station. Because in the films, of the arrest films, or the films when he went in, there were no marks. He was not bleeding.
And the 911 dispatcher told him to not follow.
Yeah, he said, stop your pursuit. And he was like, okay. And like and I shouldn't even be upset. I'm getting all riled up for no reason. Let me simmer down now, because like he's being tried for it. Like he's going to be charged with it. But I was just so upset before, like
I mean, the fact that it took this long, I guess, but there are a lot of questions with this case. A lot of questions.
Right.
I mean, just because you think someone looks suspicious, does that justify the right to start following them?
No, it doesn't. He should have at least gotten in trouble for not listening to the police. Like, wouldn't you think that would be a crime, considered a crime, not listening to what a police officer is telling you? That's like disobeying a cop.
Right. Well, that was the dispatcher he was talking to.
Okay.
The 911 dispatcher.
Okay.
So, and you're right. I mean, once they told him, do not follow the kid,
right.
He should have just stopped and
right.
waited for the police. I mean, why was he following him?
Right.
So, it's very suspicious.
Yeah, it is.
I'm very suspicious. He's the one that's very suspicious on this, you know. It was a very awkward phone call, too.
Yeah.
To 911.
And remember you were also talking about how you heard that phone call of him screaming for help.
There is someone screaming for help, and people are debating on, you know, it's amazing to me, but the country's divided on this, you know. There are many people who are sticking up for him, and the guy has a website where you can donate to him and stuff, and there are people donating. So there are people that have different views on this.
That's sad. That's sad. I mean, I understand there's a free world we live in. Everyone's free to believe what they want. Just because I don't agree with what other people feel doesn't mean that, you know, how they feel is invalid. But to me, that's ridiculous that he has a website and that there's people like supporting him, like giving money to him. Why don't you give money like to people? If you had that money to give to Zimmerman, like why don't you give it to help people like in other countries who are starving, or even people in America who are poor and starving? But you want to give your money to help this individual to get out of something or to pay for something that he put himself into.